everybody, hi every spirit, welcome very much to my YouTube channel. Esoteric Cloud Surfer here on Ezozu Empires, ready to take a look, come on, can we talk? Yeah, ready to take a look at the round 3 of Meta Combat, aka the third stage of Golden League 2. Now, for me, this is going to be the most interesting round, because it's like vanilla playstyle, aka normal playstyle, gameplay I mean, but we have creativity as well, because if you think about it, all stages but the final 4 from Golden League really comes off with some creativity. On the first round, no walls and no stone walls and no keeps. Players need to think in other ways to secure the game or certain zones of the map. Round 2, we just finished last weekend, and I have a ton of matches casted on the channel here. Go take a look. It was starting with 12 villagers, so players needed to adapt and they could create a lot of different strategies and different tempos. So here I think it will be the most balanced, right? You play normally, you can make walls, you can make keeps, you start with 6 villagers, but you cannot use the top 4 best civs for each map. So this was chosen by the top players themselves, right? They chose between themselves which civs were the best in each map, and they were banned, right? And we are here to comment and set some expectations. And remember, we will be live on my Twitch channel Saturday and Sunday 15 GMT, and also shout out to EGCTV, the host of the tournament as well. They'll be casting the games as well, and I will cast the games, or most games, that are not casted on their stream. I'll be casting on my own stream, so we can have more content of AoE 4 on the internet, right? So, first, let's talk about the maps in general, okay? We have some, like, mountain clearing. What you doing here, right? You know, mountain clearing, what you doing here, right? It's weird. But we have Baltic, Basin, Canal, Cauldron, Dry Arabia, Dry River, Golden Heights, Holy Island, mountain clearing, Rocky Canyon, and the Pit. So I think the maps are all cool. They feel different without being like too crazy. In my opinion, I think Golden Heights is like underrated. I think it's a very good map that most people don't like, or it's like it's not like they don't like it, it's more they are not very excited about it, but I really like it. Then Dry River is basically like Dry Arabia, and Rocky Canyon is basically like Dry Arabia as well, with some different nuances. Then I really like Cauldron. I think that thing in the middle, that fight in the middle for the pond is really, really good. Canal is cool as well. Basin is one of my favorite maps. I didn't saw a lot of Baltic action. That's interesting. The Pit, it's okay. I love Holy Island. And yeah, mountain clearing, it is what it is. Nobody plays it because it's just an outpost fest, right? Tell me in the comments down below what you think about the map pool from this tournament. Which is your favorite map? If there was some changes we'll make, what changes will those be? And let's get into the civs. So, at first glance, two things are very obvious. First, there is no English, alright? Because English is considered to be overpowered right now. Now, Marine Lord, in his winner interview from the second stage, he said that he doesn't find English to be very strong, but that's not the case for many players, and I think this shows it, because these was pro players that voted to ban the civs. So English is out. That means players are either tired of playing against English, or it's just too broken. In my opinion, it's a bit too broken, because they're always a step ahead. If you don't get villager, even if you get their villagers with some raids or something, they are still ahead. You know why? Because of the farms. And then late game, they gain gold from the farms, but that's not even the point, because the thing is, their farms are cheaper, and their farms they scale with the game. They get automatically upgraded as you go through the ages, and then you can research the upgrades. So first, you don't need to risk, right? Because farms around your base, you don't need to go for berries, you don't need to go for deer. Sometimes you don't even need, you don't even need to go for fishing, alright? And that's very much like, what we playing then? Because literally, in my experience on ladder, catch me live on Twitch, playing and casting, use the link tree in the description down below. And I've seen some matches, I think it was Beastie against Wham, where Wham, he was English and he spent not the whole game, but most part of the game in his own base, accumulating army. And from the perspective of player and the perspective of viewer, that's so boring, bro. That's not even like playing, that's just like waiting to have this huge mass of units, while many other civs it's about getting the pocket ecos, harassing, getting map control, getting relics, getting sacred sites, whatever. And I think English now is just too strong. It has too many things going for them, because then in conjunction with the good farms, their army usually is very cheap, longbows and spears. They don't even need gold sometimes just for the upgrades. And the thing is, because the farms are so good and the army is so cheap, they can lose villagers, or you can be ahead in villager count because you went second TC and they didn't, or because you did this good raid. They still ahead, alright? They still ahead of you because of those farms. That means that their villagers are more effective because of the farms, right? So they can have way more food than you, even though when they are low on villager count. And it's just very counterintuitive. So why the hell am I attacking English? Just for them to not take the game away, right? Then, not only that, like I said, they can play under their base. Then they got super good defenses. The TC shoots twice arrows, right? So special early game, it's almost impossible to, even with French Knights, it's almost impossible to dive the TC. Then they can go for when they age up to the castle edge, they can go for a free TC, or they can go for a keep that produces all the units faster. Like, what the hell is this, bro? Like, there is no way, or there is no moment where English are like losing, because even when it comes to age up, they always gaining something. Either they gain villagers or they gain speed production, right? And then we go to Imperial Age, and they got infinite gold from their farms, and they can go a super broken keep, the Berkshire. Whoever had that idea, they need to stop smoking whatever they were smoking, because 15 tiles of range with incendiary arrows just makes no sense. Or you can go pretty much like these super cool and strong armies with the Winged Palace, right? So basically, it's like if you play English, you can commit mistakes and come back. And your enemy, like, he commits one or two mistakes and he's gone. And I think the worst is, even if you don't commit mistakes, even if you play very well, even if you take a lot of villagers, they still ahead of you. And it's not like they par, no, they ahead, right? And it's just so cringe, bro. It just makes no sense. Like, you're doing all these things and they are doing nothing. They are basically just building units, sitting in their base, and they winning. That's very counterintuitive. So perhaps there was also some intervention from the hosts, because they know English gameplay might not be very entertaining if played that way, because it all depends on the player. There is some players that do like to take English and be more aggressive, you know what I'm saying? And by the way, I didn't even talk about the longbows. That early game is just ridiculous, because they can attack your villagers depending on the spawn without you even seeing them, right? Without you even seeing them, or your villages can even be under the TC and the longbows have range, right? So they have too much things going on for them, and even when you hurt them, they're still ahead of you in most cases. So I think it's not just because like they're super strong, because it's not the case. Like, they are strong, I think they are one of the best civs, but it's the playstyle, it's the experience itself, it's how the game feels and how the game goes. Like I said, I don't want to repeat myself, but I think it's a very important point, which is, even when you do something to be ahead and you're playing against English, you need to do way more to really be ahead. While they go to your base with some longbows, pick through 3-4 villagers, and you are not English, so you cannot come back as they do, right? Because I've played so many matches where they just sit in their base, and I get like 20 villagers, they still got more food than me. It's ridiculous, you know what I'm saying? And then I almost forgot about this. But keep in mind that I'm a platinum player right now, and I could be higher if it wasn't for all these English players. Yeah, I don't know why I'm using headphones. There is no music in the background. I know. I was just streaming, and now I'm comfortable with them. But the thing is, they have the same army as you, right? And they reach Castle Age first because their army is just cheaper, right? You know what I'm saying? So it just always feels like you are being punished just because you have a different civ. Not because they are punishing you actively, just because they have all these passive bonus, not like Malians, just like the farms and the army being cheap. And then nowadays almost everybody goes for that triple TC build, which then it's very hard to stop, because if they place the TC near the other TC, you can stop, or you can, but you have to commit way more. And then if you fail, or if you lose some of your units, they can counterattack pretty easily. You know what I'm saying? So English is just not, it's not just like they are super strong right now, because there are other super strong civs. Delhi, for an example. If you take a look here, Delhi is banned on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 maps. Right? I think it's the third most banned in conjunction with HRE, which is banned in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 as well. Alright? But it's not like English. English is not present in any map. This shows dominance. And it's not just dominance as in, oh, I'm the better civ. It's like I was saying, the gameplay, when you play against English, it's like toxic. You know what I'm saying? And when you play English, I think it's kind of boring. I don't know, I don't play English. I refuse. I'm this type of guys. I never do Tower Rush. Never did Barbican Rush. Never did like dropping keeps on your face early game. Never did Man at Arms Rush on the Feudal Age with either English or HRE. Never did the Furimba Garrison build. I don't like to do that. Okay? If you do, it's okay. You are like a slightly below a human being in my perspective. I'm kidding, but I don't like to do that. I like to win in my own merit without perturbing my opponent in those cheesy ways. I don't know if you consider French knight aggression cheesy. Some people do get mad with that online, but I think that's an active thing, because you might lose your knights. If you go and put a keep, it's like not very risky, you know what I'm saying? But other than that, I was like explaining why I think English was banned. Not just because the players want it, I think also the host of the tournament don't want to see that playstyle. It's very unfair, it's very toxic and boring and basic, in my opinion. Not to mention that they can produce ranged units super fast, they can produce siege super fast out of the White Tower. It just feels unfair. You know what I'm saying? And I think there is no other civ like that. Perhaps Mongols a little bit with the double producing, but guess what? That stone will end, or the Wuvu will empty. And so there is a window for you to do something, while with English, it's like you do something and they're still ahead. Like, what? You know what I'm saying? So, I want to focus on the civs that were the most banned, and then I want to focus the civs that were never banned. Right? So most banned is English, we already covered that. Then we have HRE. HRE is basically a harder to use English, right? It's all about eco as well. You can sit in the base, you just want to grab the relics, the rest is on the base. Farms around the Hawking Chapel, prelate boosting, and it's the same thing as English, but it's harder to use because you don't have as many bonuses. You don't have the longbows, only the farms are only boosted around the Hawking Chapel. It's not all the farms, right? You don't have faster production on your siege. Your farms do not get infinite gold on Imperial. So it's like basically English, a more economical approaching civ, but it's harder to use, and you have to go out there. There is a certain point with HRE, you have to go out there. With English, you don't have to. You can, but you don't have to. Right? And like I said once again, I think that's not very cool for people to watch, right? Then we have also Delhi. Now Delhi, I think most people are sleeping on Delhi, but the pro players, actually Marine Lord said that, I don't know what the devs, and I quote, I don't know what the devs were thinking, Delhi is too strong, because early game is like, okay, normal, You can produce a lot of units, that's right, but I think the key is third age. When you go to the castle age and you produce those villages, those keeps with the compound of the defender, which are cheaper by the way, and then you go for village fortress. If you are a pro player, you know how to maintain the state of the game. You know how to control the narrative. Shout out to Ozzy Drongo, by the way. He's always saying that. Like when he's casting his videos, he's not always, but he says, and now you have to do this, which is control the narrative, make your plan happen, right? And if you know how to do that with Delhi and your opponent is not Delhi, or your opponent is not English, or perhaps Cherry, or perhaps China, depending on the map, it's over. The game is yours. It might not look like it, but it will be, because you put one keep here, one keep there, another keep over there, another keep over there, boom, 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 villagers, villagers, villagers. And the thing is, a keep is way stronger defensively than a TC, because boiling oil, spring oil emplacement, bombard emplacement, it takes 15 people as well, just like, but the second TC only take 10. So those keeps from Delhi are effectively better TCs. The thing is, you can only make them in the castle age. And many people, like especially on lower ranks, many people don't know how to finish the game earlier. That's why everybody picks English, because of the late game, right? But that's another conversation. So Delhi is banned in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 maps, just like HRE. So HRE and Delhi being on the same level, I agree. Delhi just a bit more aggressive. Then everything is kind of in the middle. I think Chinese is very strong as well. It's banned on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 maps. Okay, so the strongest Cs right now in this map pool for our pro players are English, HRE, Delhi, and Chinese, right? Then I think Mongols banned on Golden Heights because of the trade and the outposts, because you are very close to each other, right? Then Mongols, they're basically banned in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, no. Mongols also banned on 6 maps, just like Delhi. Okay, so we can see a balance here, right? We can see a balance between Delhi, HRE, and Mongols. So they are your strong but not abusive, strong but not toxic type of civs, like English or HRE, right? Or Delhi. And then we have Rus. This is very funny, because Rus is like, okay, but not on the water maps. No. Look, Baltic, no Rus. Golden Heights, no Rus. Holy Island, no Rus. And what I'm saying, then the rest, look, Basin Canal, Cauldron, Dry Arabia, Dry River, Mountain Clearing, Rocking Canyon, and the Pit. Those have no water. All right, let the Rus come in, because Rus is too strong on water maps. And I think it was Killer Pigeon who was saying that Rus is like that extreme, that is sitting on the extreme. It's like, oh, water map, don't you even think about it. Oh, land map, I will not even think about using here. So Rus is like kinda in that thing, always goes for the water maps, never goes for the non-water and hybrid maps. Then we have Ottomans, which I think it's a very strong civ, but you have to wait, right? But look, they are banned on Canal, Cauldron, Dry Arabia, Dry River, Rocky Canyon, and the Pit, so 6 as well. Very interesting. So Ottoman, a very respectable civ. I just think it's not going to have a very high peak rate. I think like on mountain, forget it, mountain clearing, but like when Delhi is available, I think people will pick Delhi. When Chinese is available, I think people will pick Chinese. When HRE is available, I think, it depends on the player, infinitely, I know. But I think Ottomans will be like that specialized pick. Oh, I'm good with Ottomans. It's not like, oh, Ottomans are so good. No, it's like, I prefer to go Ottomans in here. You know what I'm saying? So then we went from English, which is banned everywhere, and we went for the middle, Delhi, HRE, Chinese, and Ottomans and Mongols. Sitting in the middle, we have talked about the weird kid, Rus, which we don't know what's the situation in their house. They go through weird stuff, right? And then we go to the sad boys, sad girls here in the classroom, or guys that they are like, bro, You go for every map. We don't mind if you are here, which are Abbasid, French, and Maldians. They are not banned one single time. Abbasid, Baltin, Basic Canal, Cauldron, Dry River, Golden Heights, Holy Island, Mountain Clearing, Rocky Canyon, Pit. French as well. Boop, 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 boop. Boop, 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 boop. Confirms. Maldians 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Confirmed as well. So these three sieves, Abbasid, French, and Maldians. What is my thoughts about them and on this map pool? First, Abbasid. I think people are sleeping on Abbasid. And Abbasid is that sieve that it requires a lot of experimentation. And I remember early days of Age of Empires 4, Abbasid was just like that. Oh, Abbasid sucks. We don't like Abbasid. Then somebody discovered this. Somebody discovered that. Somebody, boom, Abbasid top tier. I'm telling you. And I think it will happen the same. It's just every time they change something in the House of Wisdom, it requires a lot of experimentation. And Abbasid needs that time to get solidified in the player's peak. But I think many people, especially Marine Lord, they're very happy that the Abbasid is available on every map. Because remember, in this format, if I'm not mistaken, you can repeat sieves. You can repeat. And I remember last year, Viper, he won this round just using English. And now there is no English. So, devs, we know that you are English mains. But come on, we tired, okay? Actually, I made a post here on the channel that shows that English has the most peak rate and has the most win rate considering the sample size, which is just crazy. And go there, comment how you think English could be nerfed, so we have some hope in us. But we have French. Now, French is actually that sieve that gets, like, it doesn't get hurt because the devs don't nerf French, but the devs also don't buff French. So while other sieves gets buff here, buff there, French kind of stays the same. They change the Chamber of Commerce, but they change everything when it comes to landmarks, right? And I think French is good sieve, but late game, late Castle Age, it really lacks. And I play a lot of French. I really like to play French. I like the French Knights, I like the Arbeletier, I like the keeps and the discount, I like that free trade, but it's just not enough. You know, even when I win sometimes, I'm like, damn, if I don't win now, I wouldn't. You know what I'm saying? It's like you have to force that window a bit too much for my liking, right? But I think from these non-banned sieves, Abbasid, Malins, and French, I think French is kind of the best at the moment because, like I said, Abbasid people need to discover, right? And 1v1 Abbasid will win against French, but against Malins, I think French wins, even though they have the Musafadi. And let's go to Maldians. I think like Maldians, it's a weird case because I've seen a lot of people using Maldians, especially on the fast start frenzy. But it's just like French. Their mid to late game sucks for different reasons. For Maldians, it's because they don't have armored units, right? They have a great economy. They have a lot of unique things, which I think is very, very cool. But then, they die off. I just played a match 2 days ago. I was China. They were Malians on waterholes on the ranked ladder. And they had this huge army. I had a good army as well, but it wasn't huge as they had. And I destroyed them. I completely destroyed that army. And then it's just like... It feels bad, bro. It feels bad, you know what I'm saying? And the thing is, I think they also not... They're good on feudal, but they are not good enough to finish the game there. So they're like, so when we finish Dark Age, because I'm not good in Castle, or I'm not good late Castle, I'm not good Imperial, and I'm good feudal, but not enough to finish the game. So when we... You know what I'm saying? So Malin is also present in every map, not banned at all. People are not afraid of Malians. So, but I think they will be the surprise. I didn't thought about this, but I got this feeling right now. I think Malians will be a surprise, bro. I think so. I think so. So that's it, guys. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed, leave a like, leave a comment, go to my Twitch channel, go to my other YouTube for more variety gaming, and tell me in the comments down below what you think about the Golden League so far. Tell me what you think about this round in specific, and tell me what you think about the sieves for each map. Alright? Catch you live on Twitch, use the link tree in the description down below, and I see you soon as a Cloud Surfer, surfing out.